This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 311 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible. Our sponsors this week are Kentucky Performance Products, Riding Warehouse, and EasySignsOnline.com.
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. They'll bring you the news through hail or high water, while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, cause it's time again for Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
I'm Glenn the Geek.
And I'm Nanny Sarah from Pueblo West, Colorado, and you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network.
Well, howdy, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on the Stable Scoop Show this week. Helena is off this week. She had some family stuff that she had to deal with, going to the airport and the like. So I invited one of our auditors and a good friend of the Horse Radio Network. Her name is Minnie Sarah. Hi, Minnie Sarah. How are you?
Just fine. How are you, Glenn?
Good. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. On short notice, too. So.
Yeah, a little short notice, but it's always exciting.
And Minnie Sarah, that's not actually her name. That's what we call her. We call her that for two reasons. One, she is Minnie, and two, her horse is a Minnie. So they're both Minnies, and that's why we call her Minnie Sarah. That's something we started, isn't it? Didn't we start that?
It is something you started, but it's actually stuck. Even in the hospital, they were calling me Minnie Sarah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's funny. But, you know, you are. I mean, it fits perfectly. It's a good nickname.
I guess. If it works, roll with it, right?
And, you know, Minnie Sarah is a driver, so you know, that's why we bonded early on, because I'm a driver, too, and she drives a cute little Minnie by the name of Taz. And Taz is unique. Tell us why Taz is unique.
Well, Taz is 30 inches tall, but he is blind, and we actually do miniature cart horse shooting. And this is actually something that really is starting to take off across the country. It's pretty unique right here in Colorado, though. We have quite a few of mounted shooters, and it's basically 1800 style gear, and you shoot at balloons going as fast as you can and as safe as you can, and hope that you don't roll your cart.
Now, we've talked about mounted shooting a lot because, of course, Tammy from our who was the host of the Western Radio Show and joins us on Horses in the Morning, is a world champion mounted shooter. But you're one of the rare people who actually do it from a cart, driving a blind pony. That
is very true. It's been quite the experience. Last year, we actually took our first world championship, and we also took the honorary title of miniature horse driver and team.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, apparently, because they don't have anybody under 4'7" that wants to do it.
And how tall are you? You're 4 foot, what'd you tell me, 4'5"?
I am 4'7" and 1/4.
Oh, okay.
I'm slowly shrinking, but I've hit my max.
And you do look cute. I mean, you have a cute pony, and I don't know how you trained a blind pony to have all that shooting behind him. And then talk about trust. You two must have a lot of trust for you to trust your blind pony to go where you say to go, and two, for your pony to trust you not to run him into a brick wall.
That is very true. I don't know if it's trust or arguments. I'm not sure. If he thinks I'm going the wrong way, he will stop the cart, look over his shoulder with disappointment.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We've had a long night of talking about it, and he disagrees, I disagree. You know, it's one of those really bad marriages that just keeps going. But it's worked out in the end for me.
He's a stubborn Minnie.
He is.
A
He's
lot
a
of minis
world-class
are.
Southern mini.
A lot of minis are.
That's very true.
Some of them have attitude. I am surprised, and I've been taking a look. We've been taking a closer look at our demographics, and especially on Facebook of our followers and listeners on Facebook, and I'm shocked the number of them that own minis.
I know. It's almost like a growing trend here in Colorado as well. I turned the corner, and there's 6 or 7 minis just sitting out there in the field staring at me. It's kind of bizarre.
I think a lot of people who don't own any other horses own minis, or their own minis and other horses. But there's a lot of backyard mini owners who just have them for pets.
Yes, there are.
Yeah. Who just now you use yours. You actually put yours to work. But there's just so many that have them for pets. And I know we have a lot of our listeners here who drive their minis, and we have a lot of therapeutic minis out there as well.
Yes. It's hard not to fall in love with minis. They wrap you around their little finger and you're sucked in.
Now, is Taz your only mini?
He is. He's the lucky one. So far, he's the only one, so he's treated like a little diva.
How old is
He gets all
Taz?
my attention.
How old is
He
Taz?
just turned 8 years old.
Oh, well, he's got a lot of time left yet.
He does. I don't know if I have that much time. He takes up a lot of my energy, man.
Well, it's so good to have you on, and I have to ask you, I want to get back to this. How did you train him to get used to the gunfire when you first started?
Well, originally when we got him, he was 10 months old, and we had already started mounted shooting with our full-size horses. So as we were practicing, I'd fire the gun kind of closer and closer to him. He wouldn't move away. And he, at that point, still had a little tiny bit of eyesight left. But when we were all done with practice, he'd want to lick the gun. Nobody knows why. He's very special that way. But for whatever reason, he saw that the big horses were having a blast doing it, and he thought he could do it too. And it's worked out pretty well for him in the end.
Well, I know he's fed well. He's happy, and when you watch the videos of you doing your rounds, you can tell that he loves this job. He digs in and goes.
He does, and you wouldn't know from watching the videos that he's even blind.
No,
he's got the patterns down better than I do.
No, I wouldn't. You wouldn't know that at all. I mean, he never hits anything, so it just
no, he doesn't. I'm the only one that hits anything.
My pony Scooter, when I drive him, I mean, he can see really well, and he'll hit stuff. So I'm amazed. And he would.
He's adorable, so he can get away with it.
Yeah, that is true. He's not so good with the sounds. We think that they had started training him the way they do the Hackneys to get them all fired up.
Oh, yeah.
He's not good with loud sounds or clapping or things like that behind him. So we're working on desensitizing him. Today, Jennifer was out driving him, and I had the boombox out there, and I was playing rap music, and I was playing sounds on my phone, and I was clapping. We were trying to get him used to all that, and he's getting a little better, but he still gets all his ears go up and he jumps, and so we think that he had.
I think I would too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know. And they have the blinders on; they can't see what's back there.
Exactly.
Now
Some
you don't
people
have to
forget
worry
that.
about that, do you?
I really don't. He likes the blinders just because it's more like sunglasses for him. It protects his eyes. But as far as sounds behind him, he'll spin one ear back and forth trying to figure out where it's coming from, and then when he figures out where it's coming from, that ear will stick and the other one will be forward, and we're still moving forward. It's like he's got a third eye back there just waiting.
Well, Sarah, we're going to talk more as the show goes on here. We have a lot of guests today. We have a full show. We have Aaron Gilmore coming up, who's the editor of Horse and Style magazine. We're going to find out more about that brand new magazine that's out there. And then we're starting a new segment later in the show. It's called our Twitter Follower Highlight. Sometimes we forget about Twitter. Everybody's on Facebook and everything. Yet we have tens of thousands of followers on Twitter and a very active group of horse people that follow us on Twitter. And we thought we would get to meet some of them. And the first one we're going to meet is Miles Underwood, who is the polo coordinator for the Norfolk Polo Club in England. So we're gonna do our Twitter highlight on them. They just had a fun experience, and we're looking forward to chatting with them. And then we're going to Todd Branson, who's live from the American Quarter Horse Youth Association World Show in Oklahoma City. He's the Director of Youth Development for the AQHA. We're going to find out all about that show and a new website they have called TakeMeRiding.com. And then Minnie Sarah has picked out a product for this week's Riding Warehouse Tack and Habit segment. So all of that is coming up on today's show. Believe it or not, we're going to fit it all in. And we're going to get started right now, right after this Nutrition Minute from Kentucky Performance Products. We're going to get started with Erin Gilmore, editor of Horse and Style magazine. This Nutrition Minute is brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products, the company that simplifies your search for research-proven nutritional supplements at kppusa.com.
Have you heard of a yeast called Saccharomyces boulardii? It's a type of probiotic that benefits your horse's digestive tract. Often referred to as S. boulardii, it works in several different ways. One unique property of S. boulardii is that it supports the stimulation of the enzymes found in the intestinal lining. These enzymes help your horse digest starches and sugars in the small intestine. When the sugars and starches are more completely digested, fewer of them escape into the hindgut, where they can ferment and cause imbalances that may lead to colic, diarrhea, and laminitis. Saccharomyces boulardii is found in Nalox Advanced, made by Kentucky Performance Products. Nalox Advanced contains a blend of yeast, fermentation solubles, and stomach buffers. These ingredients work together to maintain your horse's digestive tract in peak condition. Nalox Advanced is recommended for horses of all ages and stages and is fed on a daily basis.
This Nutritional Minute has been brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products. You can find all of their terrific products at kppusa.com. Hi, Erin. Welcome back to the Stable Scoop Show. It's good to talk to you again.
Thank you, Glenn. It's very nice to talk to you again.
We used to have Erin on years ago now. It doesn't seem like that long, but
Right.
it has been for a different company you worked for, and now you're with a new magazine, fairly new, right?
Fairly new. It's about 3 years old. It's called Horse and Style magazine. I'm the editor. And we have a small team sort of based around the country, but it's grown very, very quickly in the last 3 years. So it's now my full-time gig.
Well, tell us about Horse and Style.
Well, Horse and Style is interesting. We really hit on a different angle. We focus on hunter jumpers, show jumping world, a little bit of polo, but there's a really strong style and fashion angle to it. The publisher, Sarah Appel, has her master's in fashion merchandising, and she is a former Grand Prix rider. So she sort of took her two passions and created this magazine, and I've been with it since before the first issue. And we try really hard to make content that people haven't seen before, that has a different perspective on things, and it's interesting. And, it's working. People tell me all the time, it's one magazine that they pick up and they sit down and read it cover to cover every single time.
What makes it different than like a Chronicle or something like that?
Well, it's different than the Chronicle because we don't really do event coverage. It's only bi-monthly. It comes out 6 times per year. And our newest issue just came out yesterday, actually. So it's brand new, our it's August-September issue. And we just, we profile people in a different way. We're not talking about recent results necessarily. We're tying in a style angle. For example, we have Tiffany Foster, a Canadian show jumper, on our cover of this issue. And we did a special photo shoot with her at Spruce Meadows where we took clothes from this fall's collection from Joules. Joules is a UK apparel company. And we did a big story on Joules and a story on Tiffany and kind of put the two together, and it makes for a really interesting, fun cover.
So, cut right there. I lost my train of thought totally.
Talking about women's clothes.
It went away. Yeah, see, that was it. Just Um, 3, 2, 1. Well, that is fun, and so, in other words, I should see it by the checkout at the tack shop, like at the grocery store. You see all the style.
Exactly.
Okay, so now
Yeah,
I know.
you should. Right.
Now I know what niche it
Although we
fits
try
into.
and be like the more Vogue Vanity Fair than People Magazine and Us Weekly. You know what I mean?
All right, so it's not Cosmo.
It's not Cosmo. Definitely not.
Okay. Aaron,
But-
you almost had me interested at the Cosmo angle, but no. I'm
Oh,
just
come
kidding.
on.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's distributed at about 34 tack stores around the country and at a lot of big horse shows around the country, hunter jumper shows now. And we have partnerships with a couple of big international shows that are coming to the to the United States this year for the first time. We're partners with the LA Masters, the 5-star show jumping show that's part of a trio of competitions. The other ones are in Hong Kong and Paris, and they invite the top 30 show jumpers in the world to come to these shows. So it's enormous for California and for Los Angeles. We're going to see people come to the LA Masters this September who have never competed in the U.S., definitely never competed in California. It's super exciting for us.
They have $1 million on the line on that one, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, $1 million for the competitions over about 3 days. There's 2-star competitions that more national level riders will do, and then the big Grand Prix on Sunday is going to be a pretty huge class. Probably the biggest show jumping competition that California has ever seen. Maybe the 84 Olympics in Los Angeles, or maybe comparable, but we're talking next level. So it's great. We're so excited about it.
And I know I'm seeing in a lot of the mainstream publications out there that that they're expecting an A-list crowd as far as the spectators are concerned. We're not just talking horse people, but they're really expecting it to be a social event.
Oh yeah, I mean I think that's a lot of the reason why it's in Los Angeles, right? So you've got the whole Hollywood crowd, and we can expect to see some real celebrities, not just horse celebrities.
Well, now there is a real celebrity going there that I would love to meet sometime because she's on my favorite TV show of all time, Big Bang
Who's that?
Theory, Kaylee Kuko. So she's going to be riding,
Right.
I hear.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Kaylee rides as an amateur in LA, and she competes. She competed at Thermal over the winter. I have to say, don't kill me. I've never seen the Big Bang Theory,
What?
but
All right, you can't be on the call. Thank you for. It's been good talking to you, Aaron, but we're never having you back. Sarah, please tell me you've seen Big Bang.
Oh, of course.
See,
There's nothing else to do out here but watch Big Bang Theory.
see, she's great.
I read too much horse news and horse show jumping. I've got a one-track mind.
Yeah, you really need to
Well, there you
venture
go.
out into Geek World. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Are you calling me a geek?
Yes, actually.
I'm pretty sure you're the geek here, remember?
No, I would love to have her on the show sometime. That would be so much fun.
Yeah, I've tried to get her in the magazine, and I couldn't get through her Hollywood people. So maybe this will help if I see her in person.
If
at
it's
LA Masters.
if it's any consolation, I've stalked her through her Hollywood people too and gotten nowhere. So
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes me feel much better.
yeah, the thing is, when we occasionally have gotten through the people, the celebrity is more than happy to come on and finally talk about their horses with someone.
Right.
They're all excited to talk about their horses, but their people are like, well, she don't want to talk about that. When in fact, that's the only thing that she would really want to talk about.
Exactly.
And you know what?
Yeah.
They're in the middle of contract negotiations. She's not working right now because they postponed the recording of the show. So she should have nothing to do.
Okay, now you really stalk her. You know all about that.
I know all about it. I'm telling you. Her and Carrie Underwood. We've been trying for years to get her on the show too, and nothing.
Wouldn't that be great?
She has nothing to do with horses, and I don't care. Come on, Carrie. You can come on the show anytime. Well, now there's another big horse show coming up that's kind of unique and not been done quite like this before, and that's on the other coast in New York City.
Right. That's the Central Park Horse Show, and that's going to happen a week before the LA Masters, and it's definitely unique. They've never had a show jumping competition in Central Park, and it's come about a lot because Mark Bellissimo, who runs the Winter Equestrian Festival, where I live in Florida, he has gotten the support of Donald Trump in the last couple of years, and we've had the Trump Invitational, I'm sure you've heard of, in January at Donald Trump's estate in Palm Beach Island. That kind of started this partnership between the two of them. This year, Donald Trump supported the Winter Equestrian Festival, and last year when Mark Bellissimo bought the Chronicle of the Horse, he sort of moved up a level in event organization, and he's kind of one of those guys who's always doing something new and exciting. So it makes sense that the Central Park Horse Show this September is going to happen at the Trump Rink. I guess that's an ice rink in the wintertime.
Okay.
And they've got quite the show planned. I'm definitely going to be there. I wouldn't miss it. Thursday, they have a Grand Prix, and it's a $200,000 FEI-sanctioned Grand Prix. The really exciting thing about it is that it's going to be broadcast live on NBC Sports at about 7:30, so it's primetime live broadcast. That, for show jumping, has never happened before. So that's really, again, like next level for the sport. It's super exciting for the sport. I can't wait to see how that's received. And, you know, you're putting the sport in front of an absolutely mainstream audience by doing that. And then I guess, you know, the next couple of days, he's got a dressage competition, a speed competition, a Sunday polo. So it's going to be 4 full days of horses in Central Park. And, you know, not carriage horses, not horses on trail rides, like real legit show horses. So,
I can't
again,
imagine.
very exciting.
I can't imagine logistics of getting the trailers down there and all of that stuff. That's got to be fun.
Yeah, I think that they'll do fine with that, you know, and that happens in other horse shows around the country, like Washington D.C. Every November, it's quite the production to get horses in there. But they always pull it off, you know, they always pull it off quite well. So I'm excited for this. I'm expecting it to just be an absolutely top-notch show, and again, something that attracts people who don't ride to our sport, which is, at the end of the day, the best thing that can happen.
Yeah, that's what we do need. And I noticed they held the press conference at Tavern on the Green, which is not too shabby either. So,
well, and when you're dealing with Donald Trump, you know, nothing's going to be too shabby.
It's not at McDonald's, no.
No, it's not going to be at McDonald's, and they've got a really good charitable element tied into that, where they're going to benefit a couple of New York charities, including the New York Mounted Police. So they really put together a super interesting week in New York City, and that combined with the LA Masters on the other side of the country the very next week is going to make for a very busy week for me. But a really two great events that hopefully will attract a lot of attention to the sport of show jumping.
Very good. Well, we're looking forward to the coverage, and of course, you have a lot of information and a lot of not only through the magazine but on your website as well. So why don't you give that out?
Yeah, we do. And our website has articles and fashion tips, and it's just a lot of fun. And you can also subscribe to our magazine from the website. It's horseandstylemag.com, with the "and" spelled out. And like I said, our new issue just came out yesterday. It's just hitting our mailboxes around the country today. So it'll be very exciting for us when we get our new issue out there.
And magazine is only $55 for a 1-year subscription. And as you said, it comes out 6 times a year, right?
6 times a year, right. And you can read it online at any time. And our next issue is going to be pretty exciting. Next week, I head off to Iceland to go riding for 2 weeks to do a story on that. So I've got a real tough job.
Oh, wow.
And,
Erin, that's a tough gig you got there.
Yeah, tough gig. And then I'll stop over in France and go to WEG for the show jumping and do some reporting on that. And then I'll be back in New York for the American Gold Cup and this Central Park Horse Show. So.
Well, we're looking for, you know, you have kindly agreed to come on once a month and kind of give us updates on your travels and what you've seen.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely catch up with you next month from somewhere in the world.
That's right.
Maybe we'll get a live report from you from France, from WEG, and see how things are going over there. And I'm jealous that you get to go. Iceland would be so cool. I've always wanted to do that. I think that'd be neat.
Yeah, it'll be very, very, very interesting, very exciting.
And
Can't
you're
wait for
going at
that.
a good time of year. This is a good time to go to Iceland. Yeah.
Well, from what I'm used to in Florida, I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty cold, but I think it'll be fine.
Erin, you have a terrific time.
Thanks a lot. I'll look forward to talking to you next month.
Easy Signs Online is the official sign company of the Horse Radio Network. This week's product highlight are their personalized nameplates. Perfect for horse stalls, tack rooms, lockers, bedroom doors, dog kennels, or whatever you can think of. Choose from hundreds of online graphics to further customize the nameplates from EasySignsOnline.com. Made from 1/2 inch thick solid PVC signboard, these colorful and unique one-sided nameplates are 3.5 inches by 16 inches and are designed for durability, long-term indoor or outdoor use. They are only $39.95 each, and remember, free shipping on most orders over $100. Visit them at EasySignsOnline.com. Coming up next, we have our first Twitter follower highlight. And if regular listeners and listeners to the Stable Scoop show for a long time, I mean, going back years, will remember that we used to do Twitter episodes where we used to get 12 to 14 people that we met on Twitter to come on one episode, and they all had 2 minutes and 30 seconds to talk. And we used to give them 2 minutes and 30 seconds to say what they wanted to say, and we cut them off and go to the next one. They were a lot of fun, but they were a lot of work to organize. So we decided that, every once in a while we're going to do Twitter follower highlights. And today we have a really fun one for the first one. Jennifer and I from the Horse Tip Daily Show had a chance to catch up with Miles Underwood, who is polo coordinator for the Norfolk Polo Club in England. And he's going to tell us all about that and what's going on over there with polo in England. Well, hi, Miles. Welcome to the Stable Scoop Show.
Thank you very much.
It's so good to have you on.
It's
We're doing a new segment that we're calling the Twitter Follower Highlight, and one of your people had posted this on Twitter. They said, Horse Radio, if you ever come to the UK, you must pop in and see us. We just had a young U.S. polo team visit us, and now you're the polo coordinator for the Norfolk Polo Club. Tell us about the Norfolk Polo Club.
Norfolk Polo Club, we are based probably about 2 hours from London.
Along the coast, right? Aren't you up along?
Yeah. Right by the coast, yeah. It's about 2 hours northeast of London. We have round about 40 playing members in the polo club. And we also were affiliated to Langley School Polo Academy, who played against the visiting American team last week. So we have a number of tournaments during the season, the biggest of which being the Norfolk Polo Festival, which is televised on network television in the UK and around Europe. And we also have a big teaching facility, and we play 12 months a year on the grass in the summer and in the arena in the winter.
Oh, wow. And so, wait a minute, you have an actual school for polo?
Yeah.
Wow.
We have a polo school. The Langley School is a big independent school, which is I guess what you guys would call a private school, which is maybe 5 minutes from the polo club, and the kids can actually play polo as part of their curriculum. As part of their education.
I want to go to that school.
Yeah, there's a lot of American kids now going, what?
I think it's kids from everywhere. Where we've got kids interested from Dubai and Germany, and it's a worldwide thing. As far as we know, we think we're definitely the only place in England that offers such a thing, and quite possibly the world. So it's a very, very exciting development.
So you can actually get credit for playing polo.
It's basically you don't receive a qualification as such, but a lot of kids in England, and I believe all around the world as well, once they commit very heavily to their polo or any equestrian sport really, whether it's eventing or show jumping or dressage, it comes a point where which way do they go? Do they concentrate on their studies or do they carry on with their sport?
Right.
With this, we strongly believe that the kids can carry on with their education whilst giving their sport absolutely everything. So we do believe there's a balance, and that's why we're doing it.
No, what a great idea. And you, so you have 40 active members. That's a pretty good size. Is polo really popular in England?
It's very popular in England. I mean, despite the economic downturn over the past few years, the sport's really, really grown, and I think we're up to around about sort of 85 clubs in England, and
wow.
we're a fairly small island. We've got a population of only 65 million, so 85 clubs for what really is a fairly minority sport still is very impressive.
Do you get a lot of spectators?
Yeah, we get a lot of spectators, certainly for the big tournaments, for the Norfolk Polo Festival, and also for the big international matches, which are played closer to London at Guards Polo Club. They get sort of 20 or 30,000 spectators to that. It's comparable to what you have going on at Palm Beach.
Right. Okay. And do you do they do it the same way, where you get to back your car up and tailgate and the whole thing?
Absolutely, tailgating, big thing. Everybody sort of has a picnic, has a beer. Just enjoys it. It's a wonderful way to spend a summer afternoon.
Now, I have a question. In polo in the UK, are there different levels of clubs? Like most sports that are played professionally, you have the A teams or the professional teams, then you have the semi-professional teams. Is it like that with polo as well?
In England, polo is obviously at the very, very top level. We have like a patron system, what you call a patron system in the States, in the fact that you've got one guy who is essentially paying for the team, and he will then pay professionals to play with him. So in sporting terms, it's fairly unique in terms of the fact that you can pay to play with the world's best. So you've got a variety of abilities on the field. In youth polo, young person's polo, that is very much sort of merit based. Based on team selections and all the rest of it, much as internationals are. But rather like America, all of our tournaments have what you call a handicap limit. Each player has a handicap from -2 up to 10. Unlike in golf, in polo, the higher you are, the better you are. And each tournament has a handicap limit. So a patron will sort of look at that tournament and say, okay, well, this tournament's got a 12-goal limit, and he will then hire guys to play with him to make it up to 12 goals.
So if you're a -2, that means if I'm a -2, that means when I'm on your team, you're very likely to lose 2 points by my presence.
No, I mean, it's... I couldn't possibly say that.
That's pretty accurate, actually.
Well, that's
funny.
The term goals, -2 goals, 5 goals, 6 goals, 7 goals, 8 goals, 9 goals, 10 goals, it's not an indication of how many goals you're going to score during the match. It's just a generic term that rates the player.
No, if Jennifer was on your team, you would lose 2 goals.
Yes.
So that's what she's trying to say.
Only 2. Well, it could be a lot worse, huh?
Miles, how does I think a lot of people are intimidated to get started in polo. Yeah. It looks fun to every horse kid out there.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are intimidated, one, because they think they need 85 horses to do it, and two, because I think it's just one of those sports that you look at and go, I couldn't possibly get involved there.
Glenn,
how would I do that?
When you're an American, the only people you see playing polo are supermodels and royalty.
That's true.
So it's a little intimidating.
But there are local clubs. I
don't think that's true, is it? I mean, obviously you got people like Matt LeBlanc and Sylvester Stallone and those guys playing, and obviously it does give the sports a bit of. I think people quite enjoy the fact that it's a bit elitist and all the rest of it. However, having said that, we strongly believe, and it's a personal belief of mine, that rather like any sport, it's a sport that can be enjoyed at any level. So, for example, people can come and have a lesson here at Norfolk for like 70 quid for an hour. Anyone can come and get involved, even if you're even if you're not the greatest rider in the world. We can get you on a horse. You can learn to play. So 70 quid, what's that in dollars? I don't know, $110 or something. So it is fairly accessible, and rather like motor racing, not everybody's racing Formula One cars on a weekend and spending millions and millions. You've got guys who are racing, production saloon cars, around sort of dirt ovals or whatever. So it is something that can be enjoyed, I think, at all levels, and it is. I passionately believe it's a game that everyone can enjoy.
Now, you said or actually in the tweet, they said that you had a visit from a young USA polo team. Tell us about that.
We did indeed. The Polo Training Foundation, which is run by two guys called Danny and Janet, brought a United States team over to England last week for a 4-match tour. We were absolutely honoured to have these guys here because one of our young kids, Charlie Townsend, who's the son of Chris Townsend, who owns the Norfolk Polo Club, he was very fortunate to be invited to play in Palm Beach last winter. So as a sort of reciprocal arrangement, Chris said, "Look, why don't you guys come and play at Norfolk?" So we put up a team against them. We ran a day of training for them on the Monday. And they played a match against the Langham School Polo Academy on the Tuesday. The kids were very, very polite, very respectful, great fun to have around, and did themselves absolute credit, and just unluckily losing by 1 goal on the Tuesday, 5-4.
Wait a minute. Who unluckily lost, you or us?
The Americans. Yeah.
Okay.
Bad luck.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, that's been happening a lot in all the disciplines lately. So not only are you guys kicking butt in jumping and dressage and eventing, now we got a polo to the list.
Well, I think, the obviously the Westchester Cup is the biggest polo event, between England and the USA and what have you, and I think we won the last one of that. But England USA. It's a wonderful sporting rivalry that sort of goes back generations, and I think it's all rather good natured these days, and it's something that we all enjoy, I think.
I always wondered why why we didn't see polo in like the World Equestrian Games.
Yeah.
It used to be in the Olympics, didn't it? Years and years and years ago.
Did, yeah, up until 1936. I think it made 5 appearances in the Olympics from sort of 1900 up to 36. But obviously after the war, it hadn't featured since. There were moves afoot. There are moves afoot. I think to get the sport recognised by the IOC. The problem with it is that if every country in the world fielded a team on merit, it wouldn't be a level playing field, because you've got Argentina who'd be able to field probably maybe two 40-goal teams. I think that the highest handicap team in England we'd be able to field would be about 28. They would have the World Championships in polo are limited to 14 goals. If it was in the Olympics, it would probably have to be reduced to 14 goals, but I think the Olympics is all about the absolute elite of sport. Is 14-goal polo elite? Probably not. So would it be the right thing? I'm not sure. In terms of the World Equestrian Games as well, potentially not. I don't know. Personally, it would be nice to see it in WEG. And I definitely agree. Yes, it would be nice to see polo a little bit more integrated with other equestrian sport.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun. It's so good to meet you guys, and everybody in America now that's listening is going, darn, there's a school for that. So they're still stuck on that first thing. I guarantee you that all the teenage girls listening right now are going, I could go to school and play polo.
Exactly. So, come to Langley, sign up for Langley School, and then when you sign up at Langley School, sign up for the polo, and
okay.
Learn lots and have fun. Perfect.
What's the website there, Miles?
The website here is www.norfolkpolo.co.uk. On that website, you'll find a link to the Langley School Polo Academy and all the rest of it. Any problems or any questions, indeed, people can email me, miles@norfolkpolo.co.uk. We're also on Facebook and obviously Twitter. You've mentioned, but yeah, it'd be great to hear from people stateside.
Thank you, Miles.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
One of the reasons that Mini Sarah's here today is she is one of our high-level auditors. Thank you so much for that, Sarah. We really appreciate your support.
I love it. It's a lot of fun so far.
Well, and one of the benefits of being an auditor is occasionally you get to co-host a show. So, that is one of the reasons I asked you, is that you're one of our auditors, and we're going to be reaching out to other auditors to come on, and if they want to, and to co-host and fill in for other co-hosts at times. So I'm so excited that you were able to do this today with us. We really appreciate that.
Me too. It's something you don't get to do every day, and you get a little excited, that's for sure.
Well, now auditors get to do other things too. They're doing book reviews for us. We get tons of books in here, and matter of fact, I have another email going out to the auditors today of a bunch of more books that need reviewed, and we started doing those reviews here in the last couple of weeks. So they get free books to review, and then after we go to ADA, we're going to have products that need reviewed. We'll be sending out to our auditors. So we're really trying to get the auditors involved that way as well. They have their own Facebook page that they get together and chat on. So all of these things you can do for as little as $1 a month by becoming an auditor of the Horse Radio Network. You don't have to. We appreciate you listening. There's no obligation to become an auditor. But if you would like to help support the programming here in your own way, you can do that just by going to stablescoop.com and clicking on the banner in the middle of the page. And again, thank you, Minnie Sarah, and all our auditors for their support. Now, next up is a friend of the Horse Radio Network. His name is Todd Branson. He's Director of Youth Development at the American Quarter Horse Association, the Youth Association. And he is coming to us live from the AQHYA, I always mess it up, the AQYHA World Show in Oklahoma City. Well, hi, Todd. Welcome to the Stable Scoop Show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Now, Todd is coming to us live from the American Quarter Horse Youth Association World Show in Oklahoma City. And so, and you're just there. It's getting set up today. They're moving in, right? And it starts tomorrow?
That is correct, yes. Yesterday and today are move-in days, and then we start off at the weekend. All of the halter classes go throughout the weekend, and then we've got a ton of special events to keep these kids engaged, energized, and have a lot of fun here in Oklahoma City.
Now, you're talking kids. What ages are we looking at?
The youngest exhibitor this year is 9 years old.
Whoa.
And members of AQHYA go all the way up to age 19 based on their age as a calendar year. Of course, it's all based off of, horses are born January 1st regardless of when they're born. So kids who are 18 January 1st and turn 19 this summer still have an opportunity to show. So, yeah, there's a young one, and some of the older leaders of our youth association are participating at the show.
So when the kids walk in, you check their lip tattoos to make sure they're not too old?
We trust Mom and Dad.
Now, tell me, do the 9-year-olds compete against the 19-year-olds in the classes?
We do. All of these classes are all age, and so we do have some different award types that reward kids who are younger and newer in classes. But yes, children who are ages 9 compete with the 19-year-olds, and I think that I need to tell you they're pretty dang tough. So don't let age scare you.
And I looked at the schedule. You have all kinds of classes, and I know that you were predicting around 2,500 entries. That's a lot of kids and a lot of horses. But we're talking all kinds of things.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, anything that you love about horses, you'll find in Oklahoma City between tomorrow and August 9th. Our largest classes, horsemanship, has 192 entries.
Whoa!
Showmanship has 190 entries. Trail has 161 entries, and then rounding up the top 5, Huntsy Equitation has 153, and Reining has 139.
Whoa!
So those are the top 5 classes, but we have everything from English to jumping to roping to Western to halter.
I think that's one of the misconceptions, and Sarah would probably agree with this, that when you think of AQHA, you think Western, but yet there's a ton of people who ride their quarter horses English and do all kinds of things with quarter horses.
That's true. The American quarter horse is idolized being the horse that helped settle the West. And so when you think of the American quarter horse, you think of John Wayne and Roy Rogers and some of those iconic cowboys, but the American Quarter Horse is, in fact, one of the most versatile horses on the planet and can do a tremendous number of different things, anything from jumping to, sliding in the reining classes. They are also an iconic animal when you look at the halter horses and the way the horse is displayed in those events, as well as your Western and then your traditional English classes. The horse is just tremendously versatile. So, the takeaway there isn't just the versatility of the horse, but the tremendous amount of opportunities this horse gives to kids, regardless of their background, upbringing, or interest.
Now, Sarah and I are both drivers. Is there any driving?
There certainly is.
Is there? Okay, I wasn't sure.
There is.
I've actually seen a few quarter horses driving lately. They're starting their own class in New Mexico for the mounted shooting with the cart shooting with a quarter horse.
I've seen that too. I know that is very new, but yeah, absolutely right. The driving classes are more for the adults than they are for the kids, but the American Quarter Horse is displayed in driving. We actually have 2 other World Championship shows coming up this fall. One, the last week of July in Amarillo, Texas, and then, of course, we'll be back in Oklahoma City in November for the World Championship show. There you can see the cart classes or the driving classes.
What kind of fun activities do you have for the kids? Obviously, they're there, they do their class, and that's over in 15 minutes. And other than taking care of the horses, what else do they have to do all day? For this thing goes on for a while, so.
It does. It does. It goes on. Like I said, it's a 10-day horse show. There's take away all of the kids who are coming together to see their friends and all of those fun activities. We do have partnerships in Oklahoma City, and so if there's a nice warm day and they're not showing and their horse is just chilling in the barn, they can go to Whitewater, which is a water park here in Oklahoma City. We also encourage our youth to emerge as leaders in and out of the arena. So we have a speech and demonstration contest. We have a judging contest that takes place on Monday. We also want to see these future leaders excel by using the horse. So we have a college fair that takes place on Monday and Tuesday. We also have fun pin exchanges. We encourage each state affiliate to create their own lapel pin about their state, and we have a pin exchange one afternoon with a fashion show and slushies and all kinds of fun stuff like that. We also utilize our professionals, and we bring our professionals in to do what we call ride the rail and ride the pattern. And basically what it is, it's an opportunity for our youth to interact with our professionals in a environment where they can actually learn how to do better in different classes and different events. And you can also audit from the side of the arena, ask questions, but it's a how-to session that teaches more about horses and horse classes and how to train your horse better. And then we've also added, last year was the first year, speaking of fun for our youth, we added a freestyle competition. And this year we have freestyle in horsemanship and showmanship. So it's not the reining freestyle that you see from NRHA in the fall. This is kids actually doing their own horsemanship and their own showmanship patterns to music and in their own costumes. So there's a lot of fun here. And the camaraderie just tickles me to death every year. You know, we could come out here and not have a horse show and still have a blast all together. Horse kids are a very different breed of youth, and it's just neat to see the future leaders of the equine industry emerge at this event.
Can people watch this? Is there a live feed from there?
There is, yeah. We have a live feed. If you go to aqha.com/youthworld, you'll see a link there. It's being produced by Mustang Productions, and a live feed is being presented by iEquine. So they're probably two very familiar terms into the horse industry. We're excited to have them there this year. So yeah, we do have a live feed. Also, I wanted to just to tickle our feathers a little bit. We have 42 states and kids from Australia, Brazil, Canada, Germany, Israel, Luxembourg, New Zealand, and Venezuela here. So
wow.
This truly is on a world stage. And so to have the opportunity to view this on a webcast anywhere on the planet is tremendous. These kids are just truly phenomenal.
Well, I'd sure like to know a little bit about this. TakeMeRiding.com. I love this website. It's eye-popping.
Well, it was not done overnight. This has been a project of AQHA for the last 2 years. It is no secret that since 2007, not just the Quarter Horse Association, but the horse industry as a whole has been in a steady decline, and the average age of participation is increasingly older. So we have been on a very aggressive research project to see how kids are interacting with interests and what they're doing and where the horse industry as a whole isn't fulfilling that promise. And that's where Take Me Riding came from. Take Me Riding is, it serves a couple purposes. One, we know, based off of the research, that what used to be 20 and 30 hours a week of free playtime that children have is now, which includes outdoor activity, is now today 5 hours. 5 hours a week, kids actually participate in outside physical activity. Wow. The rest of the time is reading books. It's engaging, it's educational, but it's through technology. And the horse industry just has not kept up with those times and that speed. So that's one thing I think you can probably see outside of the beauty of Take Me Riding is that it is a very direct approach at placing horses in front of the next generation of the horse industry in a very educational yet fun and engaging manner to showcase how easy it is to find horse activities as well as how horses can easily be placed in a child's life.
I love how you have, and Sarah, I'm sure you got a chance to watch them too. I love how you have the kids doing their own sort of little video podcasts. And it's a great idea, and you found some really good kids.
We did. You know, that was another thing of the research that it was a huge undertaking, but is so fulfilling to see it completed. We found that more kids are engaging in that type of environment on digital devices. They're looking at more videos. Unfortunately, today, they're YouTube self-placed videos, and what we attempted to create was a video platform that had kids who were experiencing the same issues and tribulations that kids experience in real life today, but how the horse helps them overcome it, whether it's courage, courage, building courage, or overcoming that list, overcoming the chores that you need to do, and learning the responsibility and learning why it's important to be responsible. So I really enjoyed this because when we first started doing this, we were told you need to have videos of kids on rein horses or videos of kids riding carts. And what we found is that, to them, it's a unicorn and a My Little Pony. So how does the unicorn and the My Little Pony help them in their everyday troubles that they have in their sweet 5 to 9-year-old minds? And that's what this video series, as it develops throughout this next year, serves to accomplish.
I absolutely love that, and I love how you take overcoming things, because it's a very big deal for any age to overcome certain things, and I do think that horses definitely step it up in that area. And I love that it's easy to access. It's not inappropriate in any means, and it sticks right to the topic that it needs to stick to. I think you guys have done an absolute wonderful job on this website. There's even a place for parents and teachers. It's a good resource, I think, for anyone in any discipline or any child that just dreams about horses.
That's you just defined. You need to become a marketing person. You just defined Take Me Riding. That is our sole premise and sole goal, is to have something that is all horses, all breeds. It is not just the American Quarter Horse. It is showing how the horse can be involved in any walk of life.
You have Pony Club involved here, CHA, the Certified Horsemanship Association. I mean, it's not. You're right. It's not just quarter horses here.
It is not just quarter horses, and it'll be growing throughout the summer and the fall. And that's what I was going to point out. Not anywhere in the horse industry has there ever been a geolocation map of horse events, locations, trainers, riding centers, and birthplaces of famous horses where you can actually see it on your mobile device as you're traveling somewhere on vacation. The locations even include dude ranches, county 4-H extension offices. The real purpose here is to truly show the accessibility and the availability of horses. And a part of our research, too, most people say, well, it's easier for my kid to find piano lessons than it is horse riding lessons. By looking at our horse finder and our map, you can see that's not true. And two, most piano lessons are around $50, and most certified horsemen will give you a riding lesson for $35.
It becomes a resource for adults too, because there's no other place you can use that map, that geolocation map, to find events in one place. So it becomes a resource for adults too. Let's give the website again. It's takemeriding.com. Well, let's let you go. I know you have a show to plan and prepare for, and you're going to be a little busy over the next 10 days. Thank you so much for taking time out to share this with everybody. It's you can find it at takemeriding.com. Check it out, adult or kid, doesn't matter. Anybody can check this out. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
This Tack and Habit segment is brought to you by ridingwarehouse.com. Well, this week, Tack and Habit segment, Mini Sarah picked the product, and it's something a little bit different we've never done. We don't do this type of product too often, and I want to say right up at the top here that we are not giving you any advice as far as how to feed your horse or the nutrition involved with your horse. You need to seek help with that from a healthcare professional or your vet. So we're just talking about stuff that we like that has worked for us and our horses. So, Mini Sarah, what do you got?
I have Top of the Rockies mini cubes. These hay cubes are absolutely amazing. They come in both full size and mini, which for any miniature owner, that's always a struggle, is to find good mini cubes that help with the digestive system that they're not going to choke on. It's always a worry all across the board. It doesn't matter what style of driving or riding you do with your mini. It's always a concern. But Manzanola Feed here in Colorado has been wonderful with the mini cubes that they allow us to use. And so far as energy and weight, it's been a lifesaver. In Colorado, we get winds of up to 75 miles an hour. And when you have a compressed bale, sometimes you're not sure how much your horse is eating and how much is going into your neighbor's yard. With these hay cubes, it's a little easier to keep track. You can weigh them out. And they seem to really enjoy the hay cubes, whether it's regular feedings or just for a treat.
And I don't know about you guys out there in Colorado, but here in Florida, alfalfa hay is running right now from $15 to $25 a bale, a small bale.
Yeah, we've got that same problem here. I guess that economic problem goes everywhere too, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's just it's very cost prohibitive to feed baled alfalfa. And so we actually did the same thing. We went with the mini alfalfa cubes, and, we don't feed a lot. Our horses are pretty fat. Even my rescue horse, Scooter, is now a fatty. He has to wear a muzzle part of the day. So, but, so we use it, and we actually, do you soak them?
Ours, for whatever reason, we don't need them soaked. They're pretty good on their own. I know quite a few people who do, especially for horses with respiratory problems or maybe some dental work that didn't go as well as planned.
Mm-hmm. Or lack of dental work. But yeah, we actually soak ours, so it really becomes kind of mush, and then we'll put their supplements and stuff in that when we feed them that. The other thing that we found is here in Florida, it's very hot, very humid. I mean, we've been hitting almost 100 degrees with 100% humidity every day.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's just like you walk outside and the air just goes. Oh. But one of the things we found is with the normal, like, pelleted horse treats, the peppermint snacks and those kind of things, they mold very quickly. So
that is very true.
Yeah. And even the pelleted ones get moldy very quickly here in Florida because of the humidity, and if you keep them outside. So what we did is we started using the mini alfalfa treats, even breaking them in half, even the mini ones breaking them in half, and using them as treats. And the horses love them. It works great for treats, and they keep forever. We don't have that molding problem with them.
Yeah, we don't have that problem either. It's very nice to have something that you can just break in half, use real quick, and it's not going to completely throw your horse off his diet or make him absolutely crazy because he knows there's something good in there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I know the ones we use, and I think that the ones you're talking about, what company was that again?
Manzanola Feed Company.
And, that's pretty regional to Colorado in that area?
That is correct. There's Manzanola, Colorado, right out here near Pueblo West. It's a small little town, but they're pretty regional, but they do ship things where they need to go.
Manzanola Feeds. We'll put that in our show notes too. But you can find it anywhere you live if you go to your feed store and just ask for alfalfa mini cubes. You'll have there'll be a company that's making them. Now, one of the things I know with Manzanola that they guarantee is that there's not going to be any weeds or that it's going to be they're certified weed-free cubes. Are available on request, and we get are weed free. So,
yeah.
Do you get the weed free ones?
We do that the same way.
Yeah.
We do, and it seems to work out a lot better. There's a lot less fighting with the horse about eating that particular cube.
Yeah.
When it's the weed free, it's all pretty much the same stuff, and it doesn't matter if it's our miniature horse or our full-size horses. They seem to react to it and enjoy eating it a little more than something that's possibly going to stick them or just doesn't taste right.
This Tack and Habit segment was brought to you by RidingWarehouse.com, your one-stop online tack shop. A huge selection of your favorite products and brands, but also including really unique and hard-to-find items like knee patch and full-seat riding jeans with cargo pockets, rigging converters, and a wide variety of bitless bridles. Listeners of the Horse Radio Network can use the coupon code RADIO for 15% off their order this month only, plus free shipping over $50 or $5 for second-day air, and a return policy like no other in the business, and that is free returns for 1 year both ways. You can find it all at RidingWarehouse.com. Give them a chance and save 15%. Use the coupon code RADIO at checkout. Well, check it out. Thank you for that, Mini Sarah. Everything's mini today. We got your mini, we got your mini cubes, we got Mini Sarah, we're talking about kids. I mean, everything's mini today.
Everything's better in miniature.
Good line, Sarah. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Sarah, do you have a website?
I do. It's WildWestMinisRodeo.com.
WildWestMinisRodeo.com. If you want to learn more about Sarah, we'll also put a link to it in our show notes today for today's Stable Scoop episode. Thank you so much for helping out, and Helena thanks you too.
Well, I'd love to meet her someday so that we can joke about the good times with Glenn.
I don't know about that. She'll be joking, all right. I also wanted to mention that we have set a date for our anniversary party. We're going to be doing a live anniversary party, and everybody's invited. We're going to do it on Blog Talk Radio like we do our live morning show, Horses in the Morning. And we're inviting everybody to call in. It's just going to be, Helena and I are going to get it started. All the other hosts are going to be calling and checking in. And we are doing it August the 20th at 7 o'clock Eastern time in the evening. August the 20th at 7 Eastern in the evening. And as I said, Helena and I will just be here with our alcoholic beverages in hand, and we encourage all of our past guests, all of our listeners, all of our auditors, all of our fellow hosts to call in. We have no agenda. It's just going to be a party, us talking to people and having fun, and it's our 6th year anniversary, over 3,500 episodes.
Wow.
With almost
That's amazing. That's a big step there.
Yeah, almost 5,000 guests that we've had on the show.
Wow.
So we're going to be just having a good time, and I hope you'll call Mini Sarah. Give us a call that night.
It sounds like a party I couldn't miss.
So we encourage everybody to join us that day. It should be a lot of fun, and then we'll take that episode and put it out over all the shows and share it with everybody. And listen on the phone. I don't know if you listen that way, Mini Sarah, but our app is probably the best way to listen. Just go to the iOS or Android App Store and search for Horse Radio Network. It's simple, it's free, it's easy to use. It's probably the best way to listen to all 10 of our shows. And you can find our show notes for Stable Scoop at stablescoop.com and all of our past episodes over there as well. We want to thank our sponsors. Today we had RidingWarehouse.com, Kentucky Performance Products, and EasySignsOnline.com. Thank you, Mini Sarah. Do you know how to end the show?
I sure do. Well, Glenn, I think that's plenty, but there will be more next week.